Hello Melissa, this video is for you. I know yesterday we blamed it all on this book and its weird way of writing the answer, but I also want to explain how they did it in the textbook. They're not wrong, but they are a little bit confusing, but I wanted to show you just in case you run into something like that, and I also wanted to prove that I know how to do this. But anyways, see this whiteboard? I will hold it up from time to time so you can actually see what I'm trying to write on there. But this is what the question is all about. We are going to transform an original function, and this function is not a simple function as y is equal to x squared, which that would just give you a parabola. Instead, this function looks like this, if the board would stay. Okay, y is equal to bracket x minus 2 squared plus 3. Note, this is our original function, right? And we did something very simple that you can actually figure it out in a very short time. The transform function, the very first question, we did this together. We actually got it right. It's I'm going to label as y1. Okay, that's our transform function, and it is x plus 2 square plus 3. And we know the only difference here is this, plus 2. And then we ask ourselves how did we get from negative 2 to plus 2, which means that in between you would have to have, let me grab a different color here for the process. Okay, what transform? Plus 4. Plus 4 happened. Now what's plus 4 when it's happened inside the bracket? It is a horizontal translation, right? And plus 4 means that you need to move to the left for unit. We got that. We said that the transformation that has been done to the original function is that it is translated for unit over to the left. Okay, so that one is the easy one. So let me erase that one because that's not the one I want to discuss with you. Remind me not to use a red marker because it actually stained the whiteboard. Hope no one noticed because this whiteboard does not belong to me. Okay, but anyways, okay, so instead of using whites now, I'm going to use pink. Don't think that will make anything better, but our transform function now is this. Y, I'm going to call it 2 because it's our second transform function. y2 is equal to x minus 2. Oh, there's a negative in the front. This is the big change. This negative. Negative bracket x minus 2 squared plus 3. Everything else stays the same. So you're thinking to yourself, since the only thing that happened is this negative, this arrow right here, is this negative right here. Beautiful arrow. Or not the arrow. Anyways, you realize that since the only thing that happened is that negative, you think, oh, and pink is worse. Now I know. Now you can see it better. So this negative means that there is a reflection. And we said that reflection is in the x-axis. It's not wrong. It's not wrong. Okay, let me correct myself. It's not wrong. This reflection is always upon the x-axis, okay? But what happened is we mentioned this negative is not applied to everything in the bracket. Okay? So we realize there's something that happened. There's a reflection that happened first. So let's do that, okay? If we want to change this so that it has a negative in the beginning, we have to not just add a negative. That's not the mathematical way of doing things. Let me use blue for the process. Okay, so if there has to be a reflection, we add a reflection, and then we have to add it to everything in the function. So x bracket x minus 2 bracket square plus 3. Okay, we have to include the last term right here because it's part of the polynomial. But what happened is now we have to FOIL this, right? This would have to be applied to the first term and is also applied to the second term, right? So now you have negative x minus 2 squared, okay, with a negative, but the bottom here, the last term, will become a negative 3. Okay? So we almost change it to our transform function, but it's not quite right because we have a negative here. So that's why in the answer key we did mention that there is a reflection. Okay, but we know in the answer key it also said there's a translation up 6 units. This is where this came from. This -3 in the term right here, you have to add 6 to it. Right? This is what happened. Okay, this is our second transformation step. This is our first transformation step. We flipped it. Okay, our second transformation step, +6. In the back means that it moves the function 6 units up. And that's how we end up with a +3. -3 plus 6 equals +3. So what happened? Okay, what happened to the original function? The first step is that there is a reflection in the x-axis. That wasn't wrong. But after the reflection, then it's moved upward 6 units, which is correct. Okay, we're going to do one more just to be sure. Okay, let's erase this. What do they use to make the red ink stand out so much? Oh. Uh-oh. Let's try this. Foamy screen cleaner. It's supposed to be for the computer screener. For the dust and all. Oh. So it does nothing for whiteboard. I thought cleaners comes alike. Anyways. Okay, so let's take a look at the next one that happened. So I'm gonna use blue. Let's just stick to black, and I'll put it on the bottom. Okay, so our next transform function would be our y3. Okay, and this is what happened. Negative bracket x plus 2 square plus 3. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so we have seen that there is a negative that's being applied to the bottom. There's some kind of reflection going on. And also, the number inside the bracket is different. There's -2 on the top and +2 on the bottom. So we know there's a horizontal translation. But we're going to apply the reflection first because we always reflect first. And then we do the translation. Translation is always last. But if there's a stretch, do the stretch first. But that goes the same with reflection as discussed last time. So let's do that. Let's use blue for our process. Reflect it first. Number 1 step, reflection. So we're going to do negative. And then I'm going to skip the step that actually foiled in. But you would end up with this. Right? Okay. Okay, after this, we know that in order to get this -2 to a +2, you have to +4. And this one, you have to +6. Okay, +6 means that up 6 units. -2 plus 4, that means it had moved to the left 4 units. So what happened? Number 1, first step is that there is a reflection in the x-axis. Then it's moved to the left 4 units and then up 6 units. The order of these two does not matter. And that's the answer for that one. Does that make sense? I hope that clears things up a little bit. If not, I'll talk about it next time. Yeah, great to see that Archie figured it out.